وعليكم السلام.
وعليكم السلام.
يمكن الشيء سجل يضل أقل زينبية وصلت
يوميا وتسوي لي جريده.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
الثاني على حب أمير المؤمنين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
الثالث على حب الحسن والحسين بأعلى أصواتكم.
اللهم
صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارك الخلائق أجمعين، والصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Hey, brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shahr Ramadan Mubarak. So, we're wrapping it up, tying it up, inshallah. Wednesday we should go and look for the moon, inshallah. Although it's possible that it could be on Wednesday also, right? So, ihtiyatan, we should keep our eyes out on Tuesday night too, just in case. But more than likely, it will be on Thursday. We have been having some discussions concerning the history and development of Islam in North America. And in these few days that we have left, we'll try to tie that up as well. But we want to make sure that we leave Shahr Ramadan with a good understanding of what we're supposed to learn in Shahr Ramadan. You know what I think is happening? This is one of our biggest challenges that we're facing in North America right now. Religion for us is becoming nominal. You know what I mean by nominal? It's in a name. Just like our Christian neighbors. It's the feeling, halat, that we're becoming as Muslims and as Shias in North America. Just like a Christian goes to church on Sunday because that's what good Christians do. So Muslims go to the masjid on Friday. Why? Because that's what good Muslims do. And Shias go to the masjid on Thursday and read Dua Kumail. Why? Because that's what Shias do. I mean, not that there's any feeling in it, not that there's any hope in it, not that there's any love in it, not that there's any energy in it, but I mean, if we don't go, the people might talk and look at us funny and say that this guy's not so good anymore, or whatever. We're getting weak living here. Pandemic is making it worse. Because pandemic come and close the masjid. Really, I'm disappointed in the Shias of America. In Tampa, throughout the pandemic, the Ahlul Sunnah centers were open. You want to go make Tarawih? Go. They're there all night, every night. Pandemic, no mask. Them cats are there every night doing their Tarawih, reading the entire Quran, 30 juz, 1 juz every night, and they're in the masjid. Last year, Shahr Ramadan, and this year, Shahr Ramadan. Shahr Ramadan come, we closed the damn place down, locked the door last year. Nobody was anywhere last year. And this year, alhamdulillah, Indiana is, alhamdulillah, a little tough community. You're all good people. You come and you do your thing. In other places, there's a Shia center in Tampa. You cannot enter unless you show that you took the vaccine. Now tell me if I'm wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Shahr Ramadan, you can do it video, okay? Shahr Ramadan, you can do it video. Last year we did it video and we had iftar with our family and it was good. Shahr Muharram. Shahr Muharram, can you do Muharram video? I don't know about you, I can't do Muharram video. It don't do it, man. Hazrat Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam, we can't do that video. It don't have the same feeling. But last year Muharram and this year Muharram, ta'til. And the problem, what's the problem with this? This is my experience, right? Once people get in the habit of not going to the center, then it's very difficult to bring them back again. And let's just say that we do things here on Saturday night. As an example, if the people get in the habit of not coming to the masjid on Saturday night, and instead they stay home and watch Netflix on Saturday night, what happens is when you open the center back again and you say, yalla, come on Saturday night, they're gonna say, I'm busy. Next year, Shahr Ramadan, you're gonna see, and you're seeing it already, how many programming we have online. Don't think that when everybody follows Joe Biden and get their vaccine and they say, okay, open everything again, that Zoom is gonna go away. Zoom is not gonna go away. This is the future now. This is the future of Tashayyu now, unless we do something to change it. We're getting weak. And we go to the masjid because there's no energy, there's no love, there's no quwwat, there's no power. And we look at the deen also, we look at the masjid like a church. Really, I'll be honest with you, it's a church. I'm not going to say your masjid, right? But masjid in North America, it's a church. We close it for most of the week, and then on Sunday morning, on Friday morning, we open it. And we don't have anything to do with deen until Friday or Thursday or Tuesday, or whatever. The rest of the time it's nothing. We're losing ourselves here. And we need to do something to reinvigorate ourselves, inshallah. Send a salawat, let's try our best tonight. So last night we started a conversation about human being, right? And really the point of our discussion last night when we were discussing human being and trying to come to understand what we're going to get from Shahr Ramadan. What's the benefit of Shahr Ramadan for us? What are we going to carry out of Shahr Ramadan with us? Because Eid is coming. In a few days it'll be Eid. We're going to start eating again. And I'll be honest with you, right? I'm sad when Eid comes. Really. I like to eat. I like to drink. But tell me, don't you feel powerful right now? I mean, be honest with yourself, man. Allah just fine-tuned us a little bit in this month. Not even a lot, because we're lazy. And our heart is dark. And our eyes are blind. But Allah just fine-tuned us just a little bit. And we feel so powerful in Shahr Ramadan, don't we? Now Eid come, we eat again, and the power is gone. Let's talk about that tonight, huh? Send us salamat. So last night we started talking about this hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hazrat Rasul says, "Man arrafa nafsahu faqad arrafa rabbahu." Whoever knows himself, whoever had not just ilm bin nafs, yani ma'rifat bin nafs, then he also knows his Lord. Whoever has ma'rifat nafs has ma'rifat Allah. Okay? This is a deep, deep hadith. Yani, if we're going to perceive Allah, if we're going to gain ma'rifat Allah, we can only gain that by first looking inside ourselves And we gave the example last night of biryani. You remember Marifat al-Biryani example we gave last night? And then mu'jiza. Downstairs was what? Biryani. It's karamat. Really. Last night we had example about Marifat al-Biryani, and last night they served us biryani. Is it?
Give the example about the halim
Tonight, Marifat al-Halim then. Salamat. If you want to gain Marifat al-Halim, you gotta smell it. You gotta taste it. You gotta see it. Because right now, this Halim that you talk about, Sayyidina, it's Nadidani. We didn't see it. This is a promise. So to gain Marifat of something, you have to use your senses. If it's mahsusi, if it's something that we can sense, then we have to use our senses to gain ma'rifat of that thing. And we mentioned last night, ma'rifat is different from ilm. And we gave the example before. Ilm is I read a book about halim. And I read the recipe for halim. And I come to understand how to make the halim. Ma'rifat halim is when I eat the halim. When I taste it. Now we get ilm b'nafs shay. Ilm b'dhat shay. And this is what ma'rifat is. Ma'rifat is ilm b'dhat shay. This is what ma'rifat is. In Shahr Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is tuning. He's tuning us like you tune the radio to get ma'rifat khuda. This is what the aim is in Shahr Ramadan. That even just for this month, you should get some ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, last night and tonight, we gave the example of things that we can get ma'rifat of that thing that's downstairs for us, waiting for us, inshallah, because it's not that it's still. We don't have any yaqeen. But what this thing that they're talking about is for us downstairs, right? We don't even have any yaqeen. When really what we want is haqqul yaqeen. We want to join with that thing. Last night we left off talking about the heart. You remember that? We were talking about the organs that we use to gain knowledge, to gain marifat also in this life. We use our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, our senses, right? Our fingers to gain knowledge, to gain marifat, inshallah, in this life. What organ do we use to gain marifat Allah? So we said last night, heart. And I want to make it very clear too, right? This is majazi, right? This is symbolic. Yani the heart in reality, it's not the heart that perceives Allah. It's the soul. It's the ruh that perceives Allah. But in ahadith, in riwayat, in kalamat, in the writings of awliya, then we see that they always make mention of the heart. That, for instance, someone asked Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam, he asked Amir al-Mu'mineen, can you see Allah? And Amir al-Mu'mineen said, I do not worship him who I cannot see. I said, Imam Ali said, I see Allah with the eyes of the heart. Right? But when we talk about the heart, we talk about symbolically the heart, right? And so last night we mentioned that there's two words in the Arabic language that's mentioned in the Quran for hearts, qulub and af'idah. Fu'ad and qalb. These are two words used for heart. And we said tonight we would pick up on talking about this aspect of the heart and draw a distinction between qalb, the pump, and qalb, the organ by which we can gain ma'rifatullah, inshallah. Send us salawat. Let's go. Okay. If you talk to the lexologists, the experts in language, right? There's no difference between the word fu'ad and qalb. In the definition of these two, there's no difference between them. If you go and you look them up in your dictionary, right, you're gonna find that the experts are gonna tell you between fu'ad and qalb, there's no difference. Both of them mean heart, okay? But the urafa, the mystics, Shia awliya, even A'imma alayhim salam, have made it very clear that there is a difference between fu'ad and qalb. Okay? The difference between fu'ad and qalb is, traditionally speaking, when we talk about af'idah, we're talking about something tender, something soft. And we're not talking about flesh. We're talking about nufuz. You understand it? That if the heart is soft and tender, then kalam Allah, the words of Allah, kalam awliya, can make nufuz into those hearts. And this is the marked difference between qalb and fu'ad. So, af'idah have been described as being delicate. Af'idah have been described as being tender and being soft. And this is the chief difference that exists between fu'ad and qalb. That when we talk about the heart being soft and tender and able to perceive, able to see Allah, able to accept the words of Allah, like when we say the words penetrate to his heart, you can use qalb and it's correct, but if you use fu'ad, it's even better. You understand the difference I'm trying to make? The difference between qalb and qulub and af'idah. There's a difference in only in the eyes of the urafa, in perception, in ability to see and to receive. Meaning that af'idah is described as being delicate, soft, tender. Even some ulama have described fu'ad as the thing that surrounds the heart. And when I say ulama, I'm not talking about doctors, we're talking about urafa and mystics. That fu'ad is that thing that it surrounds the heart. So if it's hardened by sin, disobedience to Allah, then it cannot be penetrated. But if we keep it soft and tender and delicate, then it can receive guidance from Allah very easily, like a makhbare, like a satellite dish. This is the major difference. Again, I bring this up just to say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Shahr Ramadan is tuning us. Yani he's focusing us. He's softening us up. Let me explain how, so that we can understand how to get the benefit of Shahr Ramadan outside of Shahr Ramadan. Send us out.
In Ramadan, Sheikh, in Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invite us to his table. This is the only shahr.
What's he serving at the table? Because he's not serving food because we're fasting.
Yes.
So what's he serving at the table, right? Let me show you. Y'all can understand this because I'm sure you've read hadith and ayat of Quran and understood from ulama this before. But whenever we control the body, the physical body, whenever we put the physical body under control, the soul expands. Do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? Yani if we put the physical body under control, then the soul expands. Now, a lot of people can't understand this when we say, for instance, you think better when you're fasting. And really, from two different points of view, it can be true and false. Because I don't think better when I'm fasting, I'll be honest with you. When I'm fasting, I don't think better because I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. But when I'm fasting, I do think better in ma'nawiyat, in ruhaniyat. When it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then our heart is more open. What? More tender, more soft, more able to receive, more able to perceive. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does something so beautiful with us in Shahr Ramadan. He attacks us from two sides, if you want to say attack. Let's not say attack. Let's say he's tuning us. Fine-tuning us from two sides. From one side, he says you have to fast. And I want to be very clear also. Fasting in Shahr Ramadan is not just fasting from food and water. A lot of us are missing out on Shahr Ramadan if we're only fasting from food and water. We're not getting the full tuning that we need. Food and water. We also should control the eyes. So I'm going to give you an example. Sometimes, and I'm not saying me, but sometimes we watch movies that are a little najur, right? Maybe some action movie outside of Shahr Ramadan, right? And they have some scenes in it that's not appropriate, right? Now, in many Muslim families, I don't know about your family, in my family, we keep the remote control close by and we try to fast forward through some of these scenes, right? But still, it's a possibility you can catch a glimpse of it, isn't it? Outside of Shahr Ramadan, we're a little shul. You know what I mean by shul? Getting loose. You know what I mean by shul.
It's okay.
We're a little loose outside of Shahr Ramadan. We watch movies, even we listen to music. And look, I'm the person I'm going to tell you, all music is not haram. There's haram music, and there's good music too. Okay? Well, we won't say good music. We're not going to say it's halal music or mustahab music. But there's haram music and ghayr haram music, right? But outside of Shahr Ramadan, we'll listen to music or watch movies. And our tongue can be a little bit more loose too outside of Shahr Ramadan, isn't it? In Shahr Ramadan, we're not just fasting from food and water. We should control the eyes, the ears, the tongue also. So in Shahr Ramadan, Allah does something so miraculous, and we realize the benefits of this, but then we lose it as soon as Eid comes. From one side, Allah says, no food, no water, no smoking, and some of these other things that we might or might not do during the daytime, right? These things are mamnu. And then on the other side, Allah says, also ma'nawiyat, right? You should control your eyes, your ears, your tongue, and also He focuses us towards ibadat. Don't you feel a greater thirst for ibadat in Shahr Ramadan? I mean, be honest. I know some of us here are sahib karamat, and some of us here are very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we make du'as outside of Shahr Ramadan, and we do nawafil outside of Shahr Ramadan, and really you're awliya khuda. But inside of Shahr Ramadan, also Allah focuses us on ibadat too, right? Like one thing He tells us, read more Quran. So everybody takes Quran down off their shelf and we blow the dust off it, and we start to read more Quran, and we start to make more namaz, more salat, and we start to read more ziyarat, and we start to do more ibadat in Shahr Ramadan. So from one side, the physicality is stripped away, the food and the water and the physicality. From the other side, the ibadat is increased. We're being fine-tuned. And this is some of the power that we feel in Shahr Ramadan. Right now, we have only been adjusted, like when you go to the chiropractor and you get an adjustment. We've only been adjusted by Allah very minorly in this Shahr Ramadan. To the smallest amount. Because we're weak and we're lazy. But we can already feel the power, can't we? the spiritual power. We can feel it. And even though we've only been tuned just a little bit, we can feel it. Imagine if our hearts were tender, and delicate, soft, and perceptive to the guidance of Allah. What we're suffering from outside of Shahr Ramadan, is wholesale preoccupation. We are completely preoccupied. With life, with work, with family, with dunya. Inside Shahr Ramadan, even we make more time for our family. It's a beautiful time of year. We are more spiritually charged in this month. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it very clear to us that when you control the body, put the physical self under control, then the soul's power, the power of the ruh, expands. So listen, me and one brother were talking about this last night so that you can understand it. Every pleasure is only possible with control. And this is one of the lessons of Shahr Ramadan. Take it with you outside of Shahr Ramadan. This is the power of Shahr Ramadan. Pleasure is only really pleasurable with control. Somebody who eats every day and drinks every day cannot enjoy food and water like the person who fasts. That's the end of it. If you eat every day, you cannot enjoy food like the person who fasts. If you drink water or Gatorade every single day, you cannot enjoy water. That first bottle of water when you break your fast, it has a pleasure in it that the person who drinks water every day has never tasted. They've never experienced that pleasure ever in their life. The person who fasts, when he takes that first date or that first luqmah of food, the pleasure that he experiences from that, the person who eats every day has never experienced that pleasure in their life. The person who sleeps all day cannot enjoy sleep like the person who works hard and then sleeps. Or in the case of Shahr Ramadan, the person who's tired and weak from fasting and he sleeps, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says you're sleeping in Shahr Ramadan is ibadat. What happened? They cut it.
We need salawat, loud salawat.
Don't worry about that. Can y'all still hear me okay? I'll speak a little louder. Send another salawat. The sleep that we get when we're tired from fasting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that sleeping while you're fasting is an ibadat, right? And you can feel it. Because when you go to sleep, when you're tired and weak from fasting, and you take that little nap, when you wake up, you do feel better, don't you? You do feel refreshed, don't you? The person who never fasts, who never controls his sleep, the person who sleeps all the time can never enjoy that sleep like you enjoy yours. Every pleasure in this world can only be harnessed through control. You understand what I'm trying to say? Can y'all dig what I'm trying to say? If we're going to take full pleasure from the dunya, you can't do it without rules, without any sharto qaid. If you're going to take pleasure from the dunya, you can only take pleasure from the dunya with control. Salawat. And this is one of the lessons of Shahr Ramadan. By controlling ourselves, we gain access on ma'rifat Allah, which is what ma'rifat nafs. We gain a knowledge of ourselves in this month that we don't gain outside of this month. Inside this month, we have to put ourselves under control. We have to tell ourselves no. What did we say last night? How do you gain ma'rifat al-nafs? By mukhalifat al-nafs. Did I mention that last night? One of the main ways to gain ma'rifat al-nafs, knowledge of ourselves, is to do mukhalifat al-nafs. In Shahr Ramadan, we're doing mukhalifat al-nafs. I'm thirsty, but for your sake, Ya Allah, I will not drink. I'm hungry, but for your sake, Ya Allah, I will not eat. Someone calls you on the phone, they're doing a riba. You say, Ya Allah, for your sake, and you make an excuse, brother, I have to go. This is that mukhalifat al-nafs, that self-control that we're learning in this Shahr Ramadan, that makes the hearts tender, able to receive the guidance of Allah, able to hear Allah when He's speaking to us, to see Allah how He's guiding us. These are the barakat of Shahr Ramadan. And it's only possible for us to gain this because we're doing mukhalifat al-nafs and we're being focused towards ibadat. Two things then to finish up for this evening that we have to take with us outside of Shahr Ramadan. When you're fasting and you're thirsty and you're tempted to drink, why don't you drink water? Is it fear of Allah? Maybe. Is it desire for reward? Could be. I want to believe that we do it because we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what Allah is steering us towards with ibadah, with worship. Read more Quran, read more ziyarat, read more dua, make more salat. Allah is steering us also towards love. Brothers and sisters, let's finish it up here for this evening then. Our deeds are worthless. Really, I'm going to be honest with you. Our deeds are worthless. Does Allah need your fasting? Does Allah need your salat? Does Allah need your ziyarat? Does Allah need your dua? No. Okay, what about your, okay, so these are your good deeds, right? And I'm telling you, your good deeds are worthless. Okay? What about your bad deeds? Evil deeds. They're even more worthless, aren't they? Even more worthless than our good deeds are the bad deeds. Do you know what gives the deeds value? So let me make an example for you then. Let's just say, because you know in Sufi poetry, Irfani poetry, they always use Layli and Majnun, right? There's a lesson for us on Layli and Majnun. So let's give an example. Let's just say you're in a relationship, but everything that you do for your spouse is out of obligation. You're obliged to do it. Whether you're obliged to do it out of fear or whether you're obliged to do it because if you don't do it, then she won't be nice to you or he won't be nice to you. But you're obliged to do it. Obligation. If you're in a relationship and the chief characteristic of that relationship is obligation, is there any depth to that relationship? If I cook dinner for my wife because I feel obliged to do it, there's an obligation to do it. The food doesn't taste the same as if I do it because I love her. If my wife is taking care of me and the family because there's an obligation to do it, it will not be the same care that we get as if she's doing it because she loves us. The food will taste different. The clothes will be washed differently. They'll be ironed differently. The bed will be made differently. The house will be cleared and cleaned differently. When you do things because of obligation, it's done differently than if you do it with love. Do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? Can you understand the example I'm trying to make for you? Even if we serve Allah, even if we obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of a sense of obligation, you will never, ever, ever progress in the path of ma'nawiyat without love. Just like our spouse wants to be loved and wants our actions to be characterized by love, not by obligation. You can take perfect care of your wife, but you do it out of an obligation, it will breed resentment. Can you understand what I'm saying? And if your wife takes care of you, not out of love, but she takes care of you out of an obligation. If your wife came, and I'm going to say something, y'all throw me out if you want to throw me out. I got a house here, but I got a job, I don't care. If your wife comes in your bed at night out of obligation, can you sleep with her? I can't, I'll be honest with you. Baby girl, if you feel obliged, put it away. I don't want it. There's a difference, isn't there? If somebody does something for you out of obligation, sometimes, Baba, I don't even want it because you feel obliged to do it. Obligation, show. I don't want it. I don't want it because you feel some obligation to do it for me. Because you feel some obligation to give it to me. I don't want it. I want it because you love me. Now imagine how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at our deeds. Now imagine how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is weighing our deeds. And we'll end it there for this evening. I won't go any further, because if we go any further, we could get myself in trouble. And it could be really bad, inshallah. Send us salawat, let's end it there. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should have mercy on our souls. Ya Allah, forgive us of our sins. Guide us to your straight path. Ya Allah, set firm our feet in your path. Strengthen our limbs in your service. And hasten the appearance of your Imam, making us his helpers and supporters upon his return.